Hello and welcome to the Total Solar Eclipse guided meditation. My name is Arik Xander. I'm the developer of Dash and Astrology healing system, balancing the aspects and different kinds of archetypes within you. I'm going to guide us. I'm going to talk a little bit about what this total solar eclipse is, and then I'm going to talk about how it's kind of affecting all the signs, because with eclipses, it kind of just like wipes everything out, hits us all. And then I'm going to guide us through the meditation so that we can really, plant seeds, these quantum level seeds for the entire lunar cycle. Now, solar eclipses are when the sun and the moon, they're next to each other from our perspective here on Earth. And then it's starting, the sun is eclipsed by the moon. So normally on a new moon, we can start new intentions. But when the moon is eclipsing the sun, it brings about some new challenges. So it's about really getting out of our own way, shattering illusions about reality, and seeing beyond the veil. And I think this is just really interesting because we have veils that we put up ourselves, we call it denial. We also have veils that are set in place that we're not able to really see beyond them, and we really shouldn't see beyond them. And so it depends how you're using it. But the total eclipses, they come in and they pull the veil away. So whether you want to see it or not, it's a little bit wrathful. It's kind of intense. So again, it's kind of like showing us where we stand with our emotions. Cancer rules over emotions and the feelings. So this new moon is like all this water is present. So we want to really understand what we're dealing with here, as we're dealing with, there are so many emotions, energy and motion. That's what emotions are. Feelings. Cancer also rules over family, karma. Whatever we define as karma, it's also our genetics. We want to heal our genes. We want to heal things that are going on. Cancer also rules over healing. So there's so much going on. And it's like affecting all of us as a collective. So we really need to make sure that we have a strong focus. But the thing is with the eclipses, they happen for a minute and then they have really long effects, okay? So how our consciousness is, what we're dealing with, what we're working with, we really want to be present with it, okay? So now the moon actually rules over Cancer. And so being that the eclipse is in Cancer is making it even more powerful. And our moon represents our reactive selves. So if something crazy happens to us, we have 1/500th of a second to respond proactively. How many of us do that? Chances are not enough. Not enough. And I know just from my own work, working with people, not at all. Especially like there's something that's like popping in, someone's triggering you, 1/500th of a second to reply, to respond mercifully, creatively, all of that, okay? So there's a lot going on. Now, I want to just raise our consciousness about in light of that reactive mind, I want to raise our consciousness about selfishness, because that reactive mind is extremely selfish. And I use the example, I thought of that with the whole Me Too movement. Before there was a Me Too, there was a me first. Somebody was putting themselves first, and then Me Too happened. Someone wanted to get what they wanted and took advantage of the situation. And now we all do this to greater or lesser degrees. Whenever there are epidemics, whenever there are spiritual or physical plagues or whatever, it's a reflection of what's going on within us, the microcosm within us and the macrocosm on the outside. But because the media has such a really excellent way of distracting us from the truth and showing us the extreme behaviors of our microcosm, like the microcosm within us, we tend to think that it has to do with everything but ourselves. But we have this within us. We have the me too within us. We have the me first within us, okay? And that which we see in the world and the total eclipse is going to show us exactly where we are acting like people that we don't like. You guys, I told you, the veil is being ripped off. And many times, these veils, they're set in place to protect us because we cannot handle the truth. But, they are lifted up over time. One way that they're lifted completely out is with drugs. Another way is, yes, these eclipses. They rip these veils out and then we see what's going on. So we want to connect with this 48-hour window of the eclipse so that we can use the veils being lifted in the best way possible. Not that we're going to freak out, right? But that we can receive more energy and overcome the negative forces that distract us from being victorious, being the master of our life. So we need to, because it's a total eclipse in Cancer, we need to work harder because of our subconscious patterns, that they're going to act out, they're going to creep out. And, they're going to come out of our dark minds because the veil's being lifted. So our job is to really not believe what they make us feel so that we can really release them. And once we're able to do that, we have more room and more capacity for magical experiences, miracles, wonders, realities, all of that. So it's a really, truly amazing opportunity that we're being faced with here. And we can really deal with whatever we're dealing with, release the self-destructive subconscious patterns, the reactive brain, all the reactions that we have that we make when we fail to respond within that 1/500th of a second to respond maturely. So not only that, but then we can program ourselves to be able to do it in the future. So I love that. So now really to make the most of this, we need to access that quantum level of the new moon in Cancer, the total eclipse, in order to avoid any kind of pitfalls or opportunities that it's being presented with. Now, in order to do that, in order to access that quantum quest, we are asked the question, what truths about myself reveal the story of my life? How do I deal with this realization? Whoa, that is intense if you think about it, because it's the veils, right? Like you think the curtains go up and now the story plays. The veil goes up and then I see what's going on. I mean, whoa, so we're in for a show. So as we're really working with this question, we proactively are able to prevent the chaos and inviting disorder and anxiety and fear into our lives by being shown what's there, but rather we can become inspired and work in a way that is going to help us with our story, because we all have a story. And sometimes, again, there's a story there to be told, and it's like same way with the media. We get distracted by it. We get so caught up in them that we forget that we can change our story if we want to. Now, our horoscopes help us to shatter, like our birth charts, our horoscope helps us to really get rid of illusions because they tell us about our stories. And in many cases, well, let me think of it. Hold on. Yeah, in many cases, we think that's gospel. But when we're really working with our astrological charts and overcoming the stars, we can have an objective perspective, and then we can look with our eyes with fresh eyes. And I really love that. So our horoscope tells us about our story, but then, it's just the story. We can do something about it. That's the amazing thing. That's what's so awesome about astrology, is that it's a tool to help us overcome and transcend our karma. So with the astrology, we see it, but with the astrology, we can overcome it, but we can only do it by utilizing our free will. And in order to utilize our free will, we need to have some amount of control over our ego, because the ego is in charge of our free will. That's just the way it is. So if we don't have control over our ego, it gets expensive, right? So chances are that it's like we're going to have a really hard time overcoming our astrology, utilizing astrology. So what usually happens is that if the stars are filtering our experiences like a movie script, it cannot be changed, right? It cannot be changed. It's already been written, it's already been projected. We have to suffer through it. We have to learn the lessons. And then hopefully we can cultivate the desire to write a different script, to do things differently. Of course, you can get up and move out of that reality, but then you're not changing it. You are changing your perspective. That's a whole different thing. That's not what I'm talking about. But when we're continuously working with our charts and the astrology, and we're being honest, and yeah, we say, we want to, like, Dorothy, like, what's behind there? Like, Oz is there, like, whatever. When we're pushing ourselves, like, of course, we need the help of a teacher to do that. We cannot do it by ourselves because we need someone to guide us, someone to be honest with us and to taking those next steps. Then we are merited the gift of protection. So again, it's not enough to know our story and, to say, oh, now I understand this, I understand that. We need to know how to change it. That's the most important thing. So when the sun is blocked, as it is with this total lunar eclipse, our expressive ego is being blocked out, which means that we can totally give up, or we can use that eclipse as a moment to program our ego, to take orders from our essential self. It's a classic case of really getting out of our own way so that the universe can really help us. Now, this total solar eclipse is going to be going over the southern Pacific Ocean, and it's interesting, east of New Zealand, and it's going to sunset in Argentina. And Cancer geographically rules over the shores, like anywhere where land meets water. That's ruled by Cancer. Think of the crab. He goes into the water, he goes under the shore. So it's really interesting. That area is going to be really affected. That's like the hot zone of what's going on. I don't know if you guys remember the great American eclipse from maybe I think it was last year. But this was like some hot zones that were going on. So now the last thing I want to say about this eclipse is that, and this is really near and dear to my heart, is that this is a really powerful time to eliminate pollution and disease from these shores where the land meets the water, from the reefs. So support any kind of movements that are doing that on our planet, because again, this is all ruled by Cancer, and we're going to really see where we stand with all of that. So we can really, as a group, as a participant doing this, if you're doing this during this window, again, which is this registration, when the lunar window is open, you can put your focus on healing the waters and where they meet the land all across the world, to really help Mother Earth revitalize herself during the healing time that Cancer is presenting, because the whole month of Cancer is about healing. So on top of that, we can really meditate to eliminate spiritual and mental and emotional epidemics and plagues. Okay, so here's the thing: humanity tends to just really pay attention to the immediate catastrophes that are going on, that that make paper sell, and the shock value and everything, totally ignoring the fact that people are dealing with all kinds of suffering. They're stuck in these movies all year. Like, how many people, God forbid, died from smoking every year? Nobody cares about that. You have to Google it. You're not going to see it on the front page of news anymore. So, but that's like an epidemic. How many people are feel lonely, right? So it's just like these things are overlooked, but these are ongoing things that fuel these kind of outbursts of energy. So we can turn our focus onto the people and places which have been plagued with ongoing misfortune since Marit Zipsky, forever, okay? So it is in these places where tragedy has become normal and they're no longer newsworthy that can merit our attention, because Cancer likes to care, likes to nurture, and it wants to do that for these things, okay? So they need the healing energy, they need our focus. And this is really, really, really important, you guys, okay? So there's a lot of healing going on with Chirons involved, and Uranus is involved. All this stuff is really going on, so I'm really happy to like really host us and guide us through all of this and activating this therapy for everybody involved. So now, in terms of going sign by sign, this is affecting everybody where Cancer is in your chart because it's blocking out the sun. So it's that new moon energy. So of course, Cancer, you're going to feel it really strongly. It's going to, bring up really lifting that veil. So the, Cancer sign out there, that veil's coming up, but use your intuitive energy to really see what it is that you need to see and not what's trying to hold you back. So really think about that, all right? And Leo, there's a lot of good energy for, just really, for everybody, it's about seeing stuff, but you're going to see kind of like how you're spending your energy, how you're seeing your thoughts, again, your aggression and your negative thinking. You're going to maybe see some of this and think of some good ways of how to reverse that. You can ask for that too. We can all ask for these different things. Virgo, you're going to see a lot of opportunity. So whatever it is that you see, it's going to be opportunity for you to be able to advance, to move on, to find out the details that you need, that you've been needing to see. Libra, this is going to bring a lot of thinking processes. You're going to become more aware of your thoughts. So be light about them. Don't let them weigh you down. See what you can do about them, okay? In a very proactive way, something that's, maybe you have to communicate with somebody, okay? Most definitely, that's absolutely there. Scorpio, you're going to see where you stand with work and how you can be more fluid and more sharing in work and how you can really have more imagination and more intuition at work and get rid of any kind of fears that you have about it as well. Sagittarius, you're going to see where you're stuck and you're going to see how you need to move forward. It's time to take the next step. No doubt about it. Capricorn, you're going to see how much you're really holding on your shoulders and how much you need to let go of. Aquarius, you're going to see yourself in a new light, which is really interesting. You're also going to see where you take yourself down, where you're too hard on yourself. Release that. Allow the total eclipse to wash it away. Pisces, you're going to see where you space out and what's there beyond the spacing out. Enjoy that. Aries, you're going to see an old wound that just isn't healed. You're going to see it, and then you need to make a game plan. How are you going to heal it? Taurus, you're going to see how you can you're going to see how you can move forward. You're going to see what needs to be changed and what you're not allowing yourself to change. So you need to really be honest about that. And finally, Gemini, you're going to see what it is that you love, the choices that you've made in your life that weren't coming from a place of love, and how to make a choice that has to do with love. It's going to be really healing. And of course, it's going to show you how to be more in alignment with the choices that you make. And it's going to show you kind of like the choices that you have made recently as well, and like where you really stand with them. So I really, really am excited about that. Now I want to show you just a moment. I want to show you the archetypal image, which I just absolutely love for this meditation so that you can prepare yourself. Let me see here. So what truths about myself reveal the story of my life? This is going to affect us all. How do I deal with this realization? You're going to see it. All right. So here it is. This is the image. Okay. So really get it in your mind. nice, huh? So we're going to go through this meditation now. I want you to get comfortable in your chair, okay? Really sit into your chair or wherever you are. Just bear with me for a minute. And before we begin, I just want to remind you that in the Moon Workbook meditation, you open up to the page that we're working with now, and that's the total eclipse in Cancer. And I want you to identify your intention, and this can be a new intention, or you can boost or a boost for an ongoing intention. And it can also be connected to what I just spoke about, which would be in alignment with the precession of the archetypes. And then in step 2, you're going to identify which house this new moon is occurring for you. If you got the pre-filled book, it's already there for you. If not, you need to figure it out as per the dash system is more powerful. This is where you're going to send the intention at the end of the meditation. So pause the video, take a few minutes, write down what your intention is, all right? Think about it. Okay. And then press play when you're ready to proceed. Okay, so I ask you now to please close your eyes. And now you see the Two of Cups card in front of your inner eye. And you blow it up to life size, really making it the same size as you are, to about the size of a doorway. And you notice that there's a glass door between you and the card. And you open this glass door and you step into the card and you introduce yourself. Take notice of the environment. You feel what's going on. And now you ask the environment for the seed of this new moon total solar eclipse in Cancer. Now that you've received the seed of this energy, now you will receive the seed level energy that you need for your intention that you wrote down. And now that you've received the energy you need for your intention, you ask for any message that the environment wants to give to you. Now you can ask, what truths about myself reveal the story of my life? How do I deal with this realization? So now you can say goodbye to the environment and you step out of the card with the seed that you received in your hand. Once you've stepped out of the card, you close the glass door behind you and shrink the card back to its original size. And now you plant the seed that you received while in the card into the house where this total solar eclipse is occurring for you. It knows what to do. It's healing your chart and the mandala of your being. Very good. Now you can open your eyes, and thank you for being the one who makes a difference by using Dash Astrology. Thank you for your trust. Wish you all a wonderful new moon cycle. Please use the Cancer Essential Oil Blend and Spray. It's there for you to help you. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.